All right, good morning. It is Thursday, March 14, 7:06 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just getting started here. It took me a little while to find 4 charts that I could work off of. And we've had a hell of a move down. Just getting my bearings here. I gotta pick a account to trade. Let's do that. All right. I'm gonna start with PA6. Hey Saggy, how are you? You were busy yesterday. That's why you weren't here. All good. Appreciate you stopping by again. Yesterday was not a bad day. I was 4-0. 4 accounts that all were in the positive. So wait, just lost my train of thought. PA6, right. Okay. So as we can see here, Apex is now offering 80% discount again. And they're back to making the evaluation a 1-day pass. So all you need to do is reach the target goal of whichever account you might be trading, and you can pass it in as little as 1 trading day. You don't have to pass it in 1 trading day, but you can pass it in 1 trading day. Saggy says you lost 26. Account 26? That was last week. Or 2 weeks ago. It's been a while. Nothing lost this week. How's your trading been going, Saggy? Did you trade yesterday at all, or you were just completely away from the charts? As you can see, I'm 7-1 for the week. So in general, it'll be impossible for me to blow up any accounts if I only have one loss in the week. Unless it's something like PA6 right now, like where I had a loss another day and then get another loss on it on the next trade. Let's see, I've got about $1,000, so I shouldn't blow it up on the next trade. It should take me 2 trades since I'm trading 2 contracts. So trading 2 contracts basically gives me room on the 25Ks of 2 to 3 losses. On the 50Ks, I can lose more than that. Saggy says, yesterday didn't trade. Yesterday enjoying with my friends some Chinese food. Nice. Gary, how are you today? You get finished pretty early trading. Maybe you're already well on your way to your profit target, hopefully. Saggy says, yesterday 4-0, great day for you. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get more like 8 trades a day, but I'm definitely not complaining with a 4-0 day. You know, it just depends on the day. So I'm just taking what the market gives me, and I'm never trying to take trades outside of my system or do anything to force anything. This is one of those areas I'm a little hesitant to go short right into the previous day low. If there's a setup off the previous day close, that might be an area I like. I mean, there's room for my target, but I'm also going to, these are the kinds of trades where if the second entry happens underneath a bullish bar like this, that's where a lot of losses happen in my system. So if this were to set up an entry right around here, I'd probably stay out of it. Gary says, all is well, my friend. Yes, I'm done. 10 PAs, 515-ish per. Very nice, Gary. You seem to do well very early in the morning before I'm even started. I wonder if you caught some of this move down, or I wonder where your trade... How many trades do you take a day, Gary? I'm just curious. Are you like a swing trader where you go for a larger profit target on each trade, or is that over multiple trades? I wish I caught that. I'm a scalper most of the time. Okay, so you're doing it in a couple trades, or do you do it with more contracts? Ooh, I am tired. I've never been right since the 1 hour change. All right, that was a nice trade right there for me. $272 on that trade. Gary said smaller trades usually play too many accounts with larger sizing. I'm pretty chill with it now. Yeah, I mean, you seem to be on a roll the last few days. You've mentioned how you did. So that's great. I mean, whatever you're doing right now seems to be working. Just keep it moving that way. Trade one. This was PA6. What do we get here? Nine points. Well, I think that's my biggest win since I switched to this auto stop strategy. That's 36 ticks. All right, so that's pretty great. That gets me just about break even on the account. And on the PA account, so I like that. Let me do some housekeeping here real quick. All right, so 8-1 for the week, 1-0 for the day. Gary says, last 2 weeks have been great for me at about 45K profit since March 4. Grateful. That's awesome, Gary. It's nice when things are finally starting to click and you can go on a little streak like that and see some improvement in your accounts. It's get some payouts hopefully, and yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I forgot to change accounts. Shoot. I don't want to trade the same account again. So I'm likely going to miss this trade. I almost put my profit at risk. I don't want to do that. All right. Spinning the wheel. Evaluation 35. All right. This is my least concerning account. It's in the worst standing at the moment. It's got the smallest drawdown. I mean, the drawdown's like 700 right now. All right, this never triggered. So he says because of elections, there's a lot of electricity problems there. Oh, great, Gary, 45K, big achievement. Yeah, that's amazing. That's really great. I hope I can get there at some point. All right, so this next trade is kind of like no stress for me because whatever happens to this account, if it were to get a loss, I care more about my stats than that particular account. It's stacking up here. I already have an 80 tick size bar. I mean, I'm going to leave this one alone, even though it's on this evaluation. I could probably take it, but although it is playing off of the previous day low, which is trying to act as some support here. If this just wasn't so sideways right before it, I'd feel better about taking a trade here. But you know what? This is an account that I don't care about, so I'm supposed to take every trade, and fortunately I can do that on this account. Because if I blow it, it's just going to renew and reset. So let's see what happens. All right. And that's why I've got to just take the trades. I only got 82 on that though. It's curious. It seemed like I was going to get more than that. It says I got 3.25 points, but I didn't. I didn't get 3.25 points on my Apex account because it's only up $82. $82 is like getting 9 ticks. All right. Well, I took the trade. That's why I have to take the trades. Because when I analyze things, I might keep myself out of trades that are going to work. I've got very limited rules. EV35. So I'm going to put plus 9 ticks. I think that's what that is. But yeah, this is the exact reason why my system, I have to take the trades as they come on these winning charts, because I can have reasons to stay out of a trade, but the trade can still work even when it looks bad. So there's just very limited moments where I won't take a trade now based on very limited rules. One of those rules would have been if this signal bar were to be underneath the previous day low, which is this red line. If I was trading into that red line, I would definitely skip the trade. But because, like I said, it went, price went through it and then came back and was acting as support. I like to trade off of that as support there. So that's the reason why I ultimately decided to take the trade, and it made it a lot easier to take the trade knowing that it was on this PA or evaluation 35 account that is my worst standing account, and if I blow it, it's not gonna change my current trajectory of my good accounts. Let me update my stats here. All right, so starting off the day 2-0, and I need to pick another account to trade with. Let's do that. All right, evaluation 27. What I think I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to leave 35 on, because I got to just start playing 35 more aggressively and either get it back to starting balance-ish or full drawdown above starting balance. So I want to make sure I get it at least there before renewal. Otherwise, I'll just pick a day before it's going to renew and YOLO it. So in this case, I'm going to copy trade 27 and 35. And I was considering a trade there, but it was going to be off of the previous day close from above it. I don't like that. So I'll see where this one closes on this chart. If it were to close below the previous day close, I might take it. All right, it's going to close above. So this is kind of a no trade area for me. I mean, it would be triggering below it, but I don't like that it's below a bullish candle above it. So this is just one of those areas that for now I'm staying away just to be safe. All right, that would have worked. Actually, if I went back to the chart that I was on previously, look at this. It engulfed and closed below. So if I'd stayed there, I'd probably like that trade. It's a little hard to say. I mean, I like that I'm trading off of that level, or I would be trading off that level, and that's what I wanted to do. But I would have liked it better if it was just off this bar and it closed below it. I would have definitely taken that. So how it's set up was just a little bit more difficult for me to be able to take the trade on those two charts. I mean, definitely. Definitely on this chart, I definitely can't take the trade on this one, which is the one I was looking at for a moment. But I like it better on this chart. This chart would have been potentially okay. Anyway, I'm trying not to skip trades, but that is one of my newer rules, is just to be careful in these areas. So let me take a look back at the chat here. Missing some action. Saggy says, Gary, what if I buy from one account and sell from evaluation? Does that work? Buy on one account and Gary says, laughs only in your mind. Like the Matrix says, spoon isn't real. These are accounts. These are accounts are the same. Saggy says up 257 on the 50K, done for the day. And Gary says, good job. Yeah, good job, Saggy. That's great. Now, if you were talking about an evaluation and a PA, you can buy in one and sell in the other. Because there's no rules in evaluation other than just get to your target in however many days the current promo is before you hit your trailing drawdown. But yeah, if you're talking about two PAs, you definitely can't buy in one and short in the other. They'll spot that. It's gaming the system. All right, so my next trade will be 27 and 35. So it looks to me like I could kind of look at this as one leg up and then two legs up with a measured move to about there. Takes us to about the opening price. It's kind of the target area, I think. And but this is interesting that it looks like this level at the previous day close is acting as some sort of resistance right now. I don't think I would take another short off this level. Especially with the measured move up. I'm not looking to short right now, even though technically there's a first entry. So the next time it ticks below a candle, it would be a second entry short. I would like to take a short off of the opening price level, which is right near the measured move. Let's see what happens here if it ticks below. So that's an entry. Looks like it would have already worked. Yeah, this is why I'm trying to take my analysis out of it for the most part. Because this is what I see time and time again. If I just take every entry most of the time, I'm going to be on the right side of things. Just because the strategy of looking for a chart that's consistently working, just consistently working. But again, I'm kind of testing this new rule I've put in place. And so because this bar closed above the previous day close, to me, that's like trading into it. Although I guess technically the trigger's still below it. So it's still trading off of it as resistance. I still got to think about how I'm, like a situation like this, how exactly I'm applying the rule for myself. Because obviously if it triggers below here, that is below the level that I'm concerned about in that situation. So the more I observe it, the more refined I can be with my rule for the situation. Also, it doesn't help me when I do draw these measured moves because then it puts a bias in my mind. So now I had a bias that we're going to at least the opening price. And so it made me not want to take a short. So, still trying to figure it all out. Saggy says, I ruin a lot of accounts because of overtrading. Now I'm trying to be disciplined. Lose 250 done for the day, up 250 done for the day. No setups, watch stream, great setup, take trade. My number one routine now. Yeah, I like that routine. I mean, especially if you're trading just one account, I think you're going to be way better off trading that way. So I think that's pretty smart. Yeah, it's a good mentality, like Gary says. I mean, it's very much kind of the way it's the same way as I'm trading these accounts for the most part, which is one trade on an account and I move on to another account. So it's very much a similar mentality. And if you can make as much as 250 in a day, that's really all you need to do, honestly, especially on these 25K or 50K accounts. There's really no reason to need to trade for more than 250 a day. You can get to your profit target. It'll take a little bit longer at just 250 a day on a 50K, but it's totally doable. And then, yeah, if you're limiting your loss to the same, then you'll never need more than 2 days to get back above where you started from after a loss. So I think that's good. All right, so this is going the other way and not reaching the measured move here. So if it gets through this level, then this might be a bigger move down, is what I would suspect. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here. See if this triggers. All right, that was fast. I didn't even have time to drop my stop loss in. So this is the power of having multiple charts that you'll trade off of. As you can see, I was looking at a totally different chart. No, one. Oh, Gary said, just watch someone else lose their account. And Saggy says, who lost? Yeah, who were you watching? I felt that no one in particular, just saying instead of blowing yours. Oh, I see. When you're done, that is. Right. Yeah. Oh, right. Watch someone else on stream risking their accounts and they blow their account and you stop trading with your profit for the day and you're feeling good. Yeah, definitely better to watch someone else blow their account than keep trading and do it to yourself. So this was trade 3 and this was EV27 and EV35. And again, so this is the power of trading multiple tick size charts for me is I'm not limited to just one size chart to get all my entries off of. This was an entry that was setting up on this chart that wasn't setting up on any of my other charts. And I liked it because it was basically playing off this level of support again, which was the previous day close. It was support over here. And I was just betting that it would be a level of support just enough to at least get my scalp. It looks like I got maybe 12 ticks. Let me see. See, it says 10 ticks. 10 ticks. Okay. So 10 ticks. And you can see some of my trades I get more and some of them I get less. I'm trying to get kind of 10 or 11 at the minimum. And then giving myself the opportunities to get larger ones like this one, 36. So 2 trades where I got 9 ticks, one I got 10 ticks. But it's worth it for me to get a little bit less on a trade like this to give me the opportunity to get more like on a trade like this. Gary says always secure the bag, right? Saggy says I'm 24 now, so I'm looking at myself after 2 years being in discipline and following rules. I might be a great trader. Yeah, if you're 24, you're young. You have a lot of time ahead of you to figure this out. Like I've said in the past, I'm in my 40s, so I didn't start this till way later in my life. I wish I could have started in my 20s. I mean, they didn't even have prop firms back then for futures, and I mean, back then I didn't even know anything about futures. I think I'd heard of it, but I didn't even know you could trade it. And I wasn't trading back then at all. So that's great that you're able to get started at that age. I wish I could go back, get those years back, but at least I'm doing it now, right? All right, let me do my stats and whatnot, and I'll be right back. right, so now 3-0 for the day, 10-1 for the week. So having a pretty good week so far. Really happy about this profit on PA6, and hoping I could keep this going today at this rate. Gary says, think about all trading is you suck at it until you don't. The thing about all trading is you suck at it until you don't. Saggy's agreeing with that. Yeah. Well, you suck until you don't, until you do again. Because I don't think I've ever heard of anyone that just figures it out and never has bad days along the way. So I think no matter how good you get, you always hit a day here or there, a week here and there, just a time period will always come up where you'll have a little bit of a setback just because the market changes and it's never the same every single day. And it goes through different cycles. So, we might find ourselves trading really great through like a certain characteristic of the market, and then the market changes, and then all of a sudden what was working really good, all of a sudden, you just hit like a little bad streak. So it's always good to be prepared for those times, because I've seen even the best traders just once in a while they hit this day or week or a little time period, or even a month sometimes, where it's just not working out the same way as they're used to. All right, so I'm up 530 altogether so far. So if I was trading one account, I'd be up about 530 total. Gary says that's the truth. All right, so I need to pick a new account to trade. Let's do that. What's going to be next? All right, here's the real deal, PA2. I don't know why I always get a little bit more nervous when the wheel says PA2. I mean, I do know why. It's because it's the account that means the most to me at the moment, because it's the closest to a payout. All right. Gary says, to me, that's great being up 530. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the great thing too is, I'm up 530, and the only profit I'm going to risk is the one on 35. I'm willing to risk that one just because, like I said, there's going to be a renewal that comes up. I don't remember how long. I think I have some time. I think it was like another week. Like 7 days of trading, including today, I think I counted. But when that comes up, I want it to at least be at the starting balance or full drawdown. So I'm willing to play that one a little bit more aggressively now and bring it up. And then the other two accounts are locked in. So no matter what happens, I won't lose the profit in PA6, for example. Gary says his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom spaghetti, says Eminem. Knew that sounded familiar. Lyrics remind me of you trading your PAs. Yeah. Yeah, but look, I'm still going to trade them the same according to my system. It's just that when I'm trading the other accounts, I really kind of feel like no stress about it at all. And then especially PA2 is the one where every time now the wheel lands on it, my heart sinks a little bit, like, okay, here we go. Starting to look a little bit like a head and shoulders. Here's a shoulder, head, shoulder. So a pretty small range for NQ for quite some time here too. I mean, since around this time, not long after I started, 7:15-ish, it's just been inside this range of 50 points. Just stuck, price is stuck between the previous day low and the previous day closing price, this purple. So just interesting to observe that. Since the 300 point drop, yeah. Well, I wasn't here for that. I missed that entirely. But since I've been on, I came on while this was working its way up, and then it's just been stuck in here. All right, so my next trade will be PA2 as well as evaluation 35. And keep trading that. All right, Gary's heading out to lunch. Catch you later. All right, Gary, have a good one. Congratulations on another good day for you. I'll see you either later or tomorrow. I'm actually going to just take like a 2-minute break here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back here. What did I miss? Saggy says 28, 31, 33, close to pass. 28. I don't have a 28. You must mean 27. 27, 31, 33. Oh, 33's got a ways to go. I'm not halfway yet on 33. But yeah, definitely 31, very close. And 27, just a little shy of 700, or low over 700 to go. So definitely getting close there. Yeah, 27. Oh. All right, so it's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. See what this market's going to do. Next trade is on 35 and PA2. Oh, my daughter. No, she's still having a rough time. Thankfully, she's still sleeping right now. But no, she'll be at home today. And I'm sure we'll keep her home tomorrow. She's got a virus. But thanks for asking. It was actually a tough night. She just couldn't fall asleep last night. We were up really late with her. So I think I got something like 4.5 hours of sleep. Which reminds me why I'm so tired. It's not just that I've been tired all week because of the time change. It's because I actually didn't get a lot of sleep last night. What did the doctor say? Yeah, it's just a virus that has to just run its course. There's no cure or treatment for it other than just getting through it. Definitely not a fun illness to go through with a 3-year-old. All right, so it looks like the market's trying to do what I was thinking earlier. So it looks like it's going to try to attempt to get there. This is like the second attempt at it. If it gets turned down here, I think we're going much lower. But if it breaks through here, then definitely would expect to see at least those levels. All right, I'm just hanging until I see something here. All right, I won't lie. That one made me nervous. That one definitely made me nervous. I didn't get as many ticks as I'd like again. 10 ticks again. I actually don't even think it was 10. I think it was 9. I think I got 9 ticks, and there it goes. But it's a win. I'll take it. Again, that's another trade. If I was taking that according to my old price action rules on ES, it's different. But that's a trade that I used to lose so many times on trading max paths. But anyway, this is trade 4. And what is PA 2? And Eval 35. And I'm going to say I got 9 ticks. I believe that is more accurate. So on my winners, 9 ticks is like I think pretty much the absolute smallest amount of profit I'll get. Saggy says probably the market might touch the lows for the day. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised it turned where it did, but let's see, this was from a previous day close, this line. Kind of tested that almost. But I'm surprised it didn't. Today get to yesterday's, or not yesterday's lows, but the previous day's lows to yesterday here. So it's kind of a interesting thing that it turned before that. All right. Turn off PA2. PA2 is done for the day, even though it only made $82. I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to lock in that $82 on that account and move on. And I've got to, let's see, I've got to do my stats. So I'll be right back while I work on that. All right. Saggy says 4-0 today. Also great day. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. I'm happy where I'm at. And it's still early. It's only 8:12 Pacific Standard Time, so I got time to continue trading here. So PA2 is off the board. See what I'm going to trade next. Oh, back to back. All right, back to back pressure. My last PA. My last current PA. PA7. All right, so I'll trade PA7 and evaluation 35. Actually, I'm going to just say evaluation 35. I've got enough days where if I continue to do this on more days with that account, then I should be able to get it back up to over the starting balance and hopefully closer to a full drawdown. So I'll just trade PA7 next, and I'll lock in the rest of the profits for the day. But yeah, I'm happy with how today's going. I'm happy with how my week is going, 11-1. And, just happy with the strategy overall, especially after a rough week last week. If I could finish this week off strong in this way, definitely a confidence boost that what I'm doing is working. And, I think I'm just fortunate that the charts are holding up so far today. Because because there's days where you start off with charts that look great and then they just start falling apart real quickly. And today they've just been continuing to work. And it's kind of like, I don't know, trading this way for me is kind of like a security blanket in some sort of strange way. You know, to be able to pull up multiple charts and see that every entry is working for your profit target, no matter what the entry looks like, no matter what the setup looks like. It just gives you confidence to take the trade, that most of the time it's going to work. And, you know, I may get unlucky here and there where I run into the one that doesn't work, and it's the first loss on the chart for the day, for the session. But it's a lot easier to accept taking those losses than it is when you do a bunch of analysis and you're waiting for the perfect trade. So you've skipped, you know, a number of setups, you know, and then you finally take a trade based on, oh, this one looks good. And then you get that loss. You know, it's a lot harder to take those kinds of losses because you feel like you made a mistake. And for me, it's easier to accept the loss when it's like, well, I just was following my system, right? I'm supposed to take every trade that I can take. That's the edge of the system, is take the setup when it comes. And, you know, the way I do it is when a chart picks up a losing entry, that's a sign to me that I'm no longer going to risk my accounts on that chart for the day. And I move on to a different chart. And so it's just kind of a form of risk management. And then at the same time, like the security blanket, like I said, like we're just like, okay, well, these all continue to work. You know, you can see like a bunch of entries where, you know, you look and it's like, there may be just terrible looking entries and they're working, and you're going, okay, well, if that terrible entry works, then I don't have to worry about what the entry looks like. I just got to take the trade. Sagi says, now I'm trading stocks on demo because they're a challenge. Trading from Monday's scaling plan is up to 1,000,006 levels, just made 2% per level. First level is 10K, 30K, 50K, 100K, 250K, 500K, 1 million. To pass challenge, just have to make 2% on 200K. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm like so not interested in trading stocks right now, honestly. I traded stocks for a long time. Like when I started trading, I was like a buy and hold forever kind of guy, and really had no idea what I was doing. I was just like buying things based on things I liked, you know, companies I liked or whatever. And I did really well. And then all of a sudden, I had a couple bad picks that I held on forever and just never, the stocks never turned around for me. So I kind of like stopped trading for like 10 years after that point. And then when I started trading again, I started trying to do it for shorter terms and like kind of buy and sell a little bit more. But even then I was so busy with my work that I didn't really concentrate on it. I just kind of played with it a little bit. And so it was kind of very sporadic, and I really wasn't like trying to get better or figure anything out. I was just kind of trying things and made a little bit, but lost a little bit. And then the 2008 financial crisis hit. And so then I completely stopped. And then the next time I started trading again was when I started kind of looking into futures a bit, I think. Or not futures, looking into options. And I traded options for a while. And then I found futures just in 2021, I think. No, I guess it was 2020, because it's been over 3 years now. Yeah, man, I'm old. I'm in my 40s. So yeah. Oh yeah, you're young. You're 24. Yeah. That's right. I forgot. That was new information today that you're 24. Yeah, I'm in my 40s. So I dealt with the whole financial crash, and that was not a fun period of time in my life. Sagi says age is just a number. If you want to do something new, just a strong mindset is needed. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I've been doing this futures thing. I found futures about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, and yeah, I've stuck with it this whole time, even though I've not been profitable with it. But as you can see, I'm maybe now closer than I've ever been. So I just got to keep working at it, right? Plus, I'm the kind of person when I get something in my mind of like, I want to accomplish something, I don't give up easily. All right, is this level going to hold again? It looks like it wants to give it up here. All right, so there's a close below the previous day low. So this is another one where I have to like gauge. The close was below it, but the trigger's above it. So it would have worked again. All right, so I'm observing these right now because I have this new rule about these areas. So look at that. Like it would have worked just enough for my profit target before it went the other way. And that's why I was kind of, I skipped this one. It would have worked, but you see how close it was to not working. And so that was my thought process here, was because this candle closed below this key level that I'm looking at, I decided I wasn't going to risk taking the trade, because what if it just triggers and then flushes the other way, which is essentially what happened, but it still worked enough that I would have got my profit target. So, in this case, it worked using it as a support level to trade off of, but just barely, right? And it happened really fast. So who knows what the fills would have been like. So I'm glad I skipped it, even though it would have worked. I'm also glad it worked because that means that I still have charts to trade with. Because as you know, my system is once a chart takes a loss, I'll no longer use that chart to trade off of anymore for the day. So I've still got 4 charts all intact from when I started, which is, I feel like the first time in a long time where I haven't had to go searching for new charts throughout the day. All right. So I wasn't paying attention, but on this chart, I was just saying, so this chart has a setup, is it? Yeah, first entry, second entry. So this chart has a second entry that's set up right into the previous day close, which is what has been support, might be resistance now. So that's a trade I would have skipped also if I was on the chart. It actually already did work for the scalp again too, amazingly, just enough. But you can see it's turning down already. So I like this rule for myself. It's just, it's a very simple rule. It's very black and white and easy to follow. There's the only gray area is what happens if a candle closes below it, but the trigger happens above it in this case. In this case, it triggers below it, so it's definitely stay out, even though it worked. But we can see how it's playing as resistance now. And so these are easy for me to skip. It's harder when it closes below, you know, let's say the candle was different, but if there was a stem on this bar and the trigger would have been above it, then that's more of a gray area of how I want to deal with this particular rule that I'm creating for myself. So I'm just going to observe these more and more over time and just be careful when I'm taking the trade or not, because it's just an area, these key levels, lows of the day, previous lows of the day, previous closes of the day, opening price of the day, just these levels, trading into them. I've just observed in the last couple of months trading this system that those are the areas where if a chart has been like what I refer to as a winning chart, where every entry is working the whole session, those are the areas where if a chart's going to pick up a losing entry, that's a lot of times where it happens the first time of the day. Saggy says, I wish I have a mindset like you in my 40s. Do you have any rule of trading 5 to 6 trades a day? No, I don't have any rule. I'm willing to take as many trades as the charts give me in the period of time that I want to trade. So ideally, and this is a pretty new thing for me, but ideally I want to be done trading no later than around 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is in 1 more hour from now. And the reason for that, there's 2 reasons. If you go back, I was trading till 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, so 3:30 East Coast. I was trading the whole session. I'd start the same time I start now, and I would trade all those hours, so 5.5 hours. And it's just too much. Like, I would just be exhausted after that much time, especially because I was doing a lot more analysis back then. But it was just too long to trade the charts, and it would kill my day. I just wouldn't feel good for the rest of the day, and especially on those days where I didn't have a good day. I just wasn't feeling happy. I was feeling kind of miserable. And even on days where I had a good day, I didn't like the way I felt. Like, it was just too much for me. Because, I think most of the time you're trading, it's stressful, right? So if you're sitting in kind of stress nonstop for 5 hours, it's a lot. But the other reason is just this new strategy that I'm trading since the beginning of this year here on NQ, doing things the way I'm doing it, like you've seen today. I found in my observation just in the couple months that I've been trading that when I have a chart like this, or 4 charts, it doesn't matter. When I have charts like this where every second entry is working for my profit target, there comes a point where the odds of it continue to working become less and less. And I think it just makes sense that over the course of, a trading day, the longer the day goes on, the more and more likely that an entry will end up losing or not working for my profit target. And I noticed pretty quickly that like on a day like today where everything is working, 9:30, 10 starts rolling in, and then all of a sudden I noticed that, okay, a chart got a losing entry, and now another chart got a losing entry. And so it just seemed to be around that time where it's like, if they were lasting that good for that long, it was just the point where I think there was like a sense of like diminishing returns. Like every time you take another trade, it's kind of like that theory. The longer you're in the market, the more risk you're putting on, and the more opportunity for the market to work against you. So now I try to just be finished by 9 to 9:30. If I'm having a good day and it's 9 o'clock like today and I'm 4-0, I'm willing to stop for the day because I feel good about the day. I'm progressing, 4 accounts in this case, to their goals. And, it just feels like diminishing returns at a certain point. So, but if I like the price action and it's looking really good, I'll try to push it and I'll try to trade till like 9:30 or 10. 10 is going to be my like absolute cutoff, unless the only thing the only time where I'll do it different and go later is if there's some kind of promo going on with the Apex where it's like 90% discount and 1 day pass or whatever the case may be. Or if I have an account that's about to renew, and I'm just deciding to like YOLO it or try to pass it or fail it fast because I don't want to renew it in its current state, then I might trade like that account later, just to like see if I can pass or fail it before it renews so it can reset, which is something you may see of me with this account 35 in about a week or so or less. Saggy says, we are totally opposite, dude, but still love to come here every day. You are pure price action trader and I'm pure indicator trader. You're a scalper and I'm a day trader. Yeah, that's cool though. I mean, I think that's like, I actually like to watch traders on stream on YouTube that trade totally different than me too, because even though you're trading differently, there's just certain things you can pick up, even if it's just like things about a mindset, or you just never know. You can learn something from everybody, I think, even if it's just like learning how you don't want to trade, right? Or how not to be. Sometimes that's even better than anything, is watch somebody and be like, there's a couple people I watch that just lose a lot, and they're, I'm not sure they're very good traders, but they're trying, right? And I watch them not necessarily because I want to see them lose. I watch them because it kind of reinforces how I don't want to trade, or how I don't want my mindset to be. So, but I think that's cool. I like that you come here and do that. And I appreciate that. And also, I think, there's a difference in, how I think versus people that might be younger than me, honestly. I've gotten more conservative as I've gotten older, and I'm less of a risk taker. When I was younger, I was much more of a risk taker and didn't really think about consequences in general. Although I was always responsible, but just more willing to take a gamble on things sometimes and let things ride. And now I'm a lot more conservative in terms of my risks, and I'm a lot more meticulous in the way I think about things and how I kind of analyze how to go about doing things. So I think I surprised you with my age. No, I mean, you didn't. I just, I didn't know how old you were. So when you put like a specific number to it, it's like, okay, now I could, when I go back and think about some of your earlier comments when you first started talking to me, I could realize like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. He's 24 and he's doing this at that age. You know, like if I was trading futures and starting to trade futures when I was 24, my entire way I would go about things would have been completely different. I would have been a lot more reckless, and I would have gone for more home runs. I probably wouldn't be a scalper. I'd probably be going for large targets. Whereas from the day I started trading futures, I've always just gone for scalps. So it's just interesting, but not surprised, because I mean, obviously, if you think about it, I know this, most people that are watching YouTube and most people that are watching trading on YouTube are, for the most part, younger people that are getting into it, right? And they're trying to learn and pick things up and figure out how to do it. More people that are my age or older, that if they're trading futures, a lot of them have been trading it, longer than me. People like Mac that I've talked about that teaches his Pat's price action trading system. That guy is a lot older than me, and he's been trading futures for 20 something years, from my understanding. And I think, older people, they probably have been, if they weren't trading futures, they've been trading and like seriously trading for like a long time, right? So a lot of those people might not be looking on YouTube for like other traders. They're doing their thing. They've been doing it a long time. They know what they're doing. They have their ways. So they're not looking for the new thing and trying to see like what other people are doing. So you mentioned about your brother before. Is he also, yeah, he's trading futures. His path has been completely different than me. And it's funny because I've kind of like followed him in what I've been doing trading. I've kind of like, he's kind of led the way in a lot of ways. Like when he started trading options, he started trading options, and then he started telling me things about it. And then so I started looking into it, and then I started trading options, and then he discovered futures. And so he was trading futures for a little while, and then I was like, oh, what are you doing? Let me learn about that. And then so I started trading futures, and it was funny because he started trading futures. He had like some big success early on, I think, if I remember correct. And then he had like some big downfalls, and then he stopped trading futures for a while and went back. I think the whole time he was still trading options. And so he just went back and focused on options. And like a year or two went by, where he was not trading futures anymore, and he was just trading options. And I was like the opposite. I was trading options less and less, and I was focusing on futures more and more. And I think he was doing really well with options. And then at some point last year, he started getting interested in futures again, and I had still been working on it and not giving up and really trying to hone in what I was working on. And so he came back, and he was trying all different kinds of things with futures, and he's kind of hit and miss. He was doing really good, and then he would have hard times, and then he'd do really good and have hard times. And I was getting better and better and more consistent. And then kind of, I guess, August last year, I was having a hard time again, specifically with Mac's Pat system. And so I was like, forget this, I'm going to come up with my own system. And so I had an indicator that I was thinking about, that I'd kind of like looked at on and off for a long time, and I was trying to create rules around it. And so that's when I started this YouTube. I was like using an indicator, and I'm trying to create my own rules. I've never seen anyone try to trade it that way before. And it worked great for like the first 2 months I was on YouTube. If you go back September and October, I was doing really well. And then November, December hit, and it all just fell apart. And so when it fell apart, I blew up 4 PA accounts, and I blew up all my evaluations I had at the time. He was like, hey, I started trading in a new way, doing something different. And then that's when he told me about trading NQ. He'd been trading NQ for a while. He switched from ES also, and I was still trading ES that whole time. So then I followed him to NQ, and then this whole kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, theory about using charts that have consistently winning entries and trading with those charts only. And so that's when I made the switch. The day after Christmas, I started trading this not on YouTube for a week, and it was working for me. And I do it a little bit different than him, but the concept was his idea. And then I decided, okay, well, that worked for a week. Let's just go up back on YouTube and change things up, use NQ, and see if I can make a go at it. And so I started trading it, and that's where I'm at now. So he's also kind of the same as me, and he's very different than me too. I mean, we have very different styles, and he's more aggressive than me. And I think it's fair to say he's a little bit more of a gambler than me. Like, he'll take chances, he'll take trades that are outside of the system. I will only stick to the system. I'm very disciplined, and I don't deviate from the system. Like, I take the trades based on the system, and if there's no trade according to a system, then I don't speculate and take a trade. So, but he's also, he's still figuring it out. He's had like some success, and then he has hard days, and that sets him back. And, I think in terms of our journey, we're kind of in similar places. But he just goes bigger than me. He goes more accounts, bigger accounts. He's copy trading more accounts at the same time for a long time. I think I got him to finally start trading a little bit more my way in terms of spreading out amongst accounts. So at least there were days where there was a glitch or a problem with the trade copier, or, who knows what, and he would lose multiple accounts at one time because of a stupid copy trader glitch. So I think that happened enough times that he was like, okay, maybe I won't do that anymore. I try to be a positive influence to maybe be a little bit more disciplined and a little bit more conservative, so that if something goes wrong, he's not losing 20 accounts at one time. So I think we've had positive effects on each other. But yeah, he's definitely a more seasoned trader than me, just in general. He traded stocks for a long time, way more than I did, and he got way more into it and had way more success at it. And then he traded options much longer than me and got way more into it and had more success than me at it. And then in futures, I'd say he's had more success than me as well. But he went away from it and came back. But he just he just goes for it, and I'm more timid. But it's interesting having a brother that trades as well, because even from him, even though he's more risky than I am, I learned from that. And that's part of where I got to. It was my idea that I was like, well, you just got to start taking every entry. He had the concept for that, and I would say, why did you take that trade? That trade looks terrible. And he'd be like, well, it's an entry on a chart that's working. And I said, but it looks terrible. How can you take that? And he's like, it was an entry, all the entries were working. So I was like, okay, let me think about that. And then, I've talked about this in the past where I had that one day, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago. I forget how long ago. I had that one day where I went 1-1 in an hour and a half, something like that. And then, but there was all these entries I was skipping. So I probably skipped 4 entries. They all worked. Maybe I took the 5th entry. It worked. I got a win. Then I skipped 6 or 7 entries in a row. They all would have worked, every single one. And then finally, by the time I took another entry, that was the first time that the chart had a losing entry on the whole session. And so I had skipped 11 entries. I was only 1-0 during that period of time. And then the time I took another entry because it looked good. It looked like a good entry with a good signal bar and all kinds of things. That was the one that lost. And I was like, wait a second. I could have been 12-0 right now. And instead I'm skipping all these entries and I'm 1-1, why am I trading like that? So that was when I had my revelation that, okay, if I have a winning chart, my goal, my aim is to try to trade and take every single entry. Right. And, I was doing that. And then just recently, in the last couple of days, I made this new rule about these key levels because I just noticed that the majority of the losses I was taking was because I was taking entries into the key levels and they weren't working, and they would be the first loss of the chart for the day. So that's when I added back a rule, because if you go back even 6 or 7 weeks ago, I was trading with a set of rules that would limit my number of trades every day. So where there were those days where I could have been 12-0, I would be like 3-0, and I'd say like it was good, or I'd be like 3-1 or 5-1 or whatever it was. And it was good, but it was like, it was a day, there were multiple days where I could have gone 12-0 or 10-1 or 8-1 or 9-0. And I was like, why am I not taking advantage of this apparent edge I have? And so that's when, I started taking everything and stripping out all rules and all analysis. And then now, as you see, I'm modifying just slightly and adding a very limited rule set, just at very specific key levels. And then also just being very more specific about the time that I'm going to trade, that I won't trade till 12:30 anymore. I'm only trading till 9:30, 10 latest. So it's just about my discipline and modifying the system and just landing somewhere that's working for me. And right now, this is working for me. Saggy says, as of my observation, you exit your trade next candle of entry. Either it is profit or loss, right? It's not always the next candle, but the reason why it often is because I'm going for such a small target. I mean, basically, I'm using an auto stop strategy now. So basically, I'm trying to get at least 10, 11, 12 ticks on average of profit. But what happens is my auto stop moves when it hits a certain price point, a certain amount of profit, it locks in my minimum profit target. So basically it locks in like 10 ticks is where my stop moves. And then if price is pushing, my auto stop will trail it very tightly. And so if it pushes really fast, I can get as many as 36 ticks. But even 36 ticks, you can see it captured in one bar. So usually I'm looking for that momentum and if there's a lot of momentum, I'll get more than 10, 11, 12 ticks, right? But if there's not a lot of momentum like here, then I'll only get, like in this case, I got 9 ticks, which is a little bit less than I really want it to get, but it's probably because I'm getting a little bit of slippage on the stop for my exit. And basically, I'm using my stop order as my exit on virtually every trade. You can see it always, when I enter a trade, it always sets a profit target like really far away, but I'm never thinking it's actually going to get there. So yeah, most of the time I'll be taken out on the next bar. But it's just because I'm going, if you think about it, if I'm only going for 9, 10, 11, 12 ticks and the ATR is 80 ticks, I mean, I'm going for just such a small amount compared to the amount that NQ typically moves. So that's why that happens. But it's true. I mean, it more times than not, I'll be in and out on the same bar. Let's see, where was my... let me see something. My last trade was on here. So here's a case where I entered on this bar and I was out on the next bar here. But this was an engulfing bar. So my entry and my exit weren't on the same bar in this case, but basically close to it anyway. Do you use an indicator? No, not really. I mean, I use the EMA, and I do have a a way of seeing whether my entries are working or not. But that's kind of like my secret sauce. I mean, the secret sauce is really just finding charts where every entry works. I mean, I can look at this and go through it and see it pretty quickly. TradingView? No, I don't use TradingView. I just only use Ninja. But for me, it's like it's super easy to see second entries because I was trading Pats for so long that I often talk about. So I mean, to see second entries is super easy, and then so it's really easy for me to look at the chart and kind of see, and then it's because NQ the bars are so big, it's real easy for me to tell whether it would have worked or not just at a glance. There's very few cases where I have to actually like go and like measure and go, okay, my entry, my entry was below this bar, so 1175. But I mean, obviously I don't have to measure this bar because it's like obvious that it went, so many points. This bar is 78 ticks. So it's like, it's a no brainer that I know it went, at least 11 or 12 ticks beyond my entry point. So that's why it's so easy for me to see it. Four people watching, no one talking. Yeah, that's all right. If nobody has anything they want to say or contribute or ask, that's all good with me. I love that you're here, Saggy. You keep it lively and talk to me. And I definitely welcome anyone else that wants to chat. Feel free. If not, it's all good. I mean, this channel is still so young. I started it in September and I was trading a totally different way. And I was trading on ES. And now I've only been trading on NQ since January on YouTube. So, and then trading this way. And then on top of that, I've only been trading and live streaming on YouTube for, I mean, maybe I'm coming up on a month and a half, close to 2 months. So the streaming aspect is very new. So I think, it's, a slow grind of people finding me. And then a lot of times when they do find me, like Saggy, when you're not here or haven't been here since you've only been around like a week or so, a lot of times I wasn't talking very much because I just didn't have much to say. So I'd only talk when I had something to talk about or right before or after a trade. And so maybe a lot of times people would also come in here and check out the stream and it would just be silent. And so I think a lot of people would come and go and just be like, okay, this is boring, which I don't blame them. So I probably have you to thank, Saggy, that at least it's a little bit more interesting for people here to join because you get me talking. So that's cool. Honestly, before I would actually watch other streamers while I was trading. When I was just silent, I'd have my mic on mute and I would just watch other traders while I was trading. I like to watch traders that don't trade like me so that I don't get affected by what they're doing and I could just focus on what I'm doing. Or I would watch them like delayed. Like I'd start watching them like an hour after they started. So I'd start from the beginning. And in that way, they weren't talking about anything while I was trading. All right. So, I mean, this thing has really been in this range for the majority of the time that I've been trading today. right? I mean, that's really the range right there. I started just after 7, somewhere in here while this was pushing up. And then, since 7:15ish, it's been largely sideways all day. You do have this kind of like almost head and shoulder looking pattern, I guess. But, this has been really sideways now for coming up on 40 minutes. At least 30 minutes. It's been really sideways. I mean, kind of like a 30 to 40 point range. So not much action for me here since my last trade. Also, we're in these levels too. I mean, where I wasn't going to take a trade going into the previous day close from below it, and it's just kind of getting messy. So the closer I get to 9 o'clock, 9:30, the more careful I feel like I want to be. And my daughter is still in bed. It looks like I watch her on a monitor, so it looks like she's kind of thinking about waking up soon. So I may shut it down in a little while here. But I am also waiting to see about trading PA7 next, which would be my last PA to trade for the day. I always get a little bit more, I don't know. It's the same thing happened yesterday, actually. Like the PA account was the next account to trade. And as it gets closer to 9 and then 9:15, 9:30, the less and less I want to put risk on a PA account. So depending on what happens here, I mean, this is like just like a total no trading zone for me at this point. It's just so sideways. I mean, look at this. So if this doesn't start moving and giving it some opportunities, I probably will decide to stop trading soon. Sagi says, nah, dude, your stream helps me to stop over trading because before your stream, only the chart and me. It's now the chart, me and you, so it stops from overthinking and over trading. Cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, if I'm helping you to like keep your trading in check and you're gonna lock in those profits like today, that's awesome. I mean, it's kind of like you're helping me and I'm helping you, so I can dig that. That's great. I do think most people, when they get into trading, Sagi, I forget, did you tell me how long you've been trading for yet? I don't remember if you've told me how long you've been trading futures. But I think a lot of people definitely get into over trading when they start. I remember when I started, like, I was like, oh, this is easy. And, like I said, I was trading max pat system, and I was like taking a lot of trades. And it's funny because like the first couple weeks, like I was like doing great, right? It's like just winning on sim. And so I was like, oh, I got to put money in an account. And this was like before I even knew about prop firms, and it was before Apex even existed, because Apex, when they start the very end of 2020, I think, and I didn't know about them when they first started. I'd heard of like Top Step, but I didn't really understand it or know what it was, and I didn't trust it, and I thought it was a scam. And I think anything I heard about prop firms at that point, I just thought was a scam. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. It's working. I understand the system. I keep winning on sim. So I put I think I put $1,000 in my account at that point, and I was like trading it the same way, and I was winning like the first, I don't know, couple weeks. Like I was winning. It's like, oh man, I'm going to be a millionaire. This is so easy. And then I don't know what happened, but I hit a week where it was like, I couldn't win. Like every trade I was losing, and I lost back all my profit. And then I started losing back capital. And I think if I remember correctly, I lost half my capital. It went down to 500, and I couldn't trade anymore because you needed 500 margin to trade one contract on the ES. And so I couldn't trade anymore. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like I was up, I forget how much. I was up a good amount trading one contract. I think I was up over $500. And then I lost the 500 back, and I lost another 500. And I was like, what the hell? You know, and that's when I had my first realization, like, oh, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. And it was like trades that, and this is the problem I had with Max System the whole way, was like trades that were winning for me for X amount of weeks, all of a sudden the same trades were losing, right? And I couldn't figure out, like, what am I doing wrong? And so then I went back to Sim and was trading it. And then I like joined a Discord group that I had to pay for, and somebody was trading like a hybrid system of Max. And so I was trying to learn that because they were apparently making a killing. And I was like, oh, maybe they have the secret sauce, you know? And so I tried to trade it that way. And then I restarted my live account. And so I put in another $1,500 and had my account starting at $2,000. And I figured, okay, this way I have more room for margin in case anything goes wrong. And then I traded that account for 2 years. And then I've already talked about how at the end of last year, I blew up that live account, had like $100 left in it, couldn't trade it anymore. And then made this whole switch. But it's interesting. It's just like the over trading is where I started saying all that. And it is interesting. I think if you can limit your trading, the better you can do, or at least to know, like, okay, I have kind of like a rough target of like, if I make X amount of dollars today, like lock it in and move on to another day, because the more you trade, the more risk you're putting on. And a lot of people don't think about risk that way. They just think about their actual risk while they're in the trade. But every time you enter the market, you have risk that you didn't have when you weren't in the market. So once you have a certain amount of profit, it makes sense to not continue to put your account at risk, which again is why I stagger my accounts, because I take a trade, I lock it in, and then I move on to the next account, right? And so it's that same mindset. Now, I'm different because after Sagi started in 2020. Okay, so we started, but that was the first time you started trading ever, right? It was 2020. 2020 was when I started trading futures, but it wasn't like when I started trading ever. But yeah, that's good. I mean, you're like 3-ish plus years in, and you're young, and you got so much time to figure this out and really become successful at it. It's awesome. It's like great that you're doing it. The last thing I was going to say is just, what was the last thing I was going to say? I think I lost my train of thought. Oh, just, I was kind of the opposite, because I started off like go-getter. I was trading aggressively. I was trading a lot of trades. And then when I went down on my live account to 500 that first time, and it made me not be able to take trades anymore, I was like, oh, I don't like that feeling where I can't use my account anymore because it's telling me that I messed up and I'm a loser. You know, it doesn't trust me to trade unless I put more money in. That sucks. And so when I put the extra 1,500 in my account and was trading a $2,000 live cash account, I got really conservative, and I was taking like at best one trade a day. Like it was very rare to get a second trade in a day. And I was like probably averaging 2 or 3 trades a week. And it was just like the volume of trades was so small. So, and like I was trading in a similar way in terms of my risk reward per trade. So it was like one loss would set me back 3 or 4 winning trades on average. And so, you know, I could have 2 or 3 weeks where I didn't have any losers, but I'd be like 2-0 one week, 1-0 for a week, and then 2-0 for a week. That was, you know, 3 weeks of work, right? And then I'd get one loss, and that would wipe away 3 weeks of work. And so I did that for a long time. And then I went on a streak where I was actually up on that account. I got that account over $3,000. I think it was up like $1,300 at one point. Then I lost all that back. And then I was below the starting balance, and then I was back to the starting balance. And then I was like break even for a long time. And then I eventually blew it up. So yeah, I will never forget that day, that $625, my first payout in Forex market. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to on my Apex account. I'm still looking forward to my very first payout. And the thing was, with my live account, I never took my profit, right? I mean, that's something like going back. If I could think about things differently, when I was up $1,000 on my account, or 1,300 or whatever it was on my live cash account, when I was at, when I was at 2,000, when I started over again and got it to whatever it was, 34, 3,300, something like that, I should have taken out 1,000 or taken out 1,300 and put it back to the starting balance and put that money in my pocket. But I never did that. I kept trading with it in the account. So I just lost it all back. So I never actually made any money. I just gave it back, So if I were to ever do a live account again, I would actually do, and I see that Alpine Trader is actually, he's started trading a live cash account that he copies to with his prop accounts, and he put, I think he put 4,000 in. I forget. He just started doing this like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something. He put 4,000 in. He already built it up to like 5,800 as of like yesterday, I think, something like that. And he was talking about how he was going to take all his profit out and reset it back to the starting balance and like pay himself out of that account. And I think that's really smart. I wish I had thought of that back when I did that. Even the first time I started the account with $1,000, and I had that account up like, I think I had up $600 or $700. So I got it up to like $1,600 or $1,700. I wish I took out $500, or $600 and had it go back to the starting balance, because at least I would have paid myself and felt like how you're talking about, like you never forgot the day you paid yourself out of the Forex market. I've still never had that moment trading futures yet, because I never did pay myself out of those live accounts. And then like I've been very open about, since I've been trading Apex, coming up on a year now. Today is March 14th, so a couple more weeks and I will be on Apex for a full year without a payout. And I've been very open about that. I'm still looking for my first payout on Apex. The one good thing that I've done is I haven't gone crazy on these Apex accounts. So I know so many people, and I see it on the Discords and the groups I'm in. I know so many people that have just bought 20 accounts at a time, and they think they're going to just trade 20 accounts on the copy trader and, make millions of dollars. And then they blow 20 accounts at a time, or maybe they break it up into 2 batches and they blow 10 accounts at a time, or whatever it is. And they go through hundreds and hundreds of evaluations and maybe tens and tens and tens of PAs, or even close to 100 PAs or whatever it is. And they're just like racking up the debt and not getting payouts. At least I've gone slow and small. So, this is the most accounts at one time I think I've ever had, a total of 10 accounts. And I'm trading small and slow, and especially now not copy trading. So I've kept the cost down, but I'm still in for $2,000, just under $2,000. I'll be at $2,000 probably by the end of the month with the any renewals coming up and any additional PA fees I might get if I pass any of these evaluations. So, but the good thing is that just one payout on the 50K will get me to break even. So it's like, it doesn't take much to at least be break even or close to break even with a $1,500 payout on the 25K. So I've kept my expenses in check, and I've given myself time to find a system that works for me, which maybe I'm finally finding that. Sagi says, in India, you're earning $500 to $600 a month. You're going to live a great life here. Yeah, well, and that's amazing too. I mean, and that's the amazing thing, that like these prop firms are really affording someone like you in India is, for the price of like, currently the 80% off, let's say. So the 80% off, you can buy a 50K account for 30, what is it? It's about $30. Forget exactly. Yeah, it's like right around $30 or $33, something like that. I think it's $32.70. I forget. But for $32, you get the opportunity to pass it, and then for either $85 for the monthly fee or $140 for a lifetime fee, basically you could get into a PA potentially for like $170. If you're doing the lifetime fee, and for $170, you can make $2,000. And like you're saying, the $2,000 can go a long way in India. So it's like, it's really different than when I was getting into futures. Like I wasn't trading prop firms. I had to take $2,000 of my own money up front, put it in an account. And then I wasn't even, witty enough, or I don't know, I wasn't thinking strategically enough to think like, oh, if I'm up $1,000, take the $1,000 out of the trading account and use that money, pay yourself, and then continue trading with your original capital. So it's a totally different game trading that way. And then, but prop firms, it's like, you can start with very little upfront money. You don't have to put $2,000 up front to make $2,000, right? I never even made $2,000 with my original $2,000 investment. So anyway, I just realized I'm not paying attention, and there was a not bad setup. Is it? What am I looking at? That's not the chart. Oh, here we go. That's why I wasn't seeing the chart. Not bad setup here. First entry, second entry was engulfing above here with room. Let's see, where are we at? 9:12. My daughter's still sleeping. That's good. What'd Saggy say? So my focus is to make 1K a month to have that life. Top Step offers for $4.5 for 50K. I got selected for this. Oh yeah, they have that offer that they're running for $4.50. Yeah, I've never traded Top Step. I don't really like their rules. Just reading them, I don't like them. And then I also don't like that when you look at their payouts, it doesn't even come close to like the payouts that people are getting for Apex. It's just like very limited in comparison. So I just take that as a sign of like, there's something about Top Step that must be harder. And then I also, if I'm being honest, I don't like what Top Step, what the management or the owner, what the leadership of Top Step, I don't like what they put out. It just feels very scammy, honestly. I mean, the guy's out there talking so much shit about his competitors, like Apex and other companies. And, they used to say, he used to make these digs about Apex about, if you want to just be a gambler and trade with a discount firm, that are just giving away their evaluations because they're making money off you and they don't want you to succeed. He used to say stuff like that all the time. I'd see him talking like that. And then now they're offering $4.50 evaluations or combines, whatever they call them, right? So he basically was like talking shit about Apex for the longest time because they were like, quote unquote, the discount prop firm, you know, and how like that wasn't good for the traders. And then they go and they do the same exact thing after saying all that stuff. So I personally like, I don't, I don't want to contribute to a business that has a leader that is like, you know, he's just, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, he just contradicts himself, you know? Saggy says, yeah, I know they troll their competition. Yeah, they totally troll. But it's like one thing. Okay, if you're going to troll and say that, like, cool, you can say whatever you want. I'll have more respect for you though if you don't then go and do the same thing that you're trolling them for. I mean, he's trying to undercut Apex by doing these $4.50 things, right? The same exact thing that he used to troll for. And it's like, okay, if you want to troll and you want to like make a dig at your competitor for you know, offering deep discounts on their evaluations, cool, you can do that. But the second you start doing the same thing, then I lose like all respect for it, you know? So I just don't want to, I feel like I don't want to give my business to them. I don't want to contribute to someone who's like, it's scammy, you know? It's like, oh, it didn't work. Like his pitch didn't work. Apex got huge on his watch. You know, they had 10 years on Apex. They never got as big as Apex, not even close. And then they see what Apex is doing and his sales pitch that like, oh, you don't want to go there because they don't care about the trader. They're cheap because they want you to fail, and all the trolly stuff he said. And then, oh, I can't beat them, so I'll join them, I guess is his thinking. Yeah, Top Step is older. Top Step's been around for over 10 years. And Apex has only been around since the very end of 2020. So yeah, it's been totally, you know, interesting to watch that happen. And I've seen the guy talk so many times, and I just think he's full of it. And I just don't want to like contribute to his pocket personally. So I've never traded Top Step. That's kept me away from Top Step the whole time. And I like Apex's rules. Like Apex is very clear, like what the rules are. They don't change anything on you after the fact that you don't know about. Now, a lot of people don't read their website, so they get into their accounts and then they don't realize what a trailing drawdown is, or they don't understand what the 30% consistency rule is. And, you know, I think you got to do your own diligence and be responsible for yourself as a trader. And if you're going to join a prop firm, you got to understand what the rules are. And so a lot of people complain because they didn't understand something. And then now they're like, oh, you know, they're not paying me out because I didn't qualify under the 30% rule, but they don't even understand what the 30% rule is. So that's why they didn't understand and they're complaining. But I like Apex because I think the rules are very clear. I read their frequently asked questions and all the rules in the contracts. I read every word. I understood it. And I know what the rules are that I'm playing by. Whereas there's other companies out there, I'm not talking about Top Step now, but there's other companies where they say, oh, no trailing drawdown, right? That's like one of the things they pitch is like the good thing about their accounts. But then when they put you into a funded account, they have a trailing drawdown, and they don't really say that up front. Like you don't find that out unless you really dig into like the contract, I think, because I don't remember seeing it on their website. I never found it on their website, but I've seen people talk about it on their contract. And so it's like they didn't know that they were going to have a trailing drawdown after they passed the evaluation. So yeah, I like Apex. It's the only firm I've used. I know that they pay out. I know people personally that have gotten payouts, and I know it's been verified that a lot of people that I know about that have gotten payouts that I'm aware of online, and it's been proven that they've gotten their payouts, and very few people have had trouble getting paid out as long as they fit the rules. So Sagi says it's time to have dinner. pretty late today. Good night. Today's a great day for us, me and you, and also for Gary. Yeah, today's been a good day. Thanks for joining me today, Saggy. I appreciate it. I appreciate you chatting with me here. Keeps my day more interesting and lively. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, Apex is the only one that I've used. Apex is the only one that I would recommend. I think there's some other pretty good ones. Like I know that Upine Trader, who I talk about all the time, he trades, I don't know, 4 or 5 different prop firms, but Apex is his main one. And he's like the prime example of what I'm talking about. He's made over 100K just in these first 3 months so far of 2024 on Apex. But yet he's only made I don't know, 10,000 and under on any of the other prop firms. So it just shows you, the multitude that Apex, can afford someone to trade for big numbers, and he's never taken out more than the maximum payout on any account. It's just that he's able to withdraw on multiple accounts at the same time, and that's where he's had $20,000 and $30,000 plus payouts. So to me, that's where it's at ultimately. As long as they're offering that, that's what I'm going to be striving for at some point. But I'm just going to go slow until I get there. All right, let's see. It's 9:20. I'm feeling like I'm done for the day. I've had a good day. And, while I've been talking, the market finally moved some, but here we go. We have a move down and now just consolidation again. And I don't really have much of a read on the market. I'm not really sure what it's going to do. I know, it seems like after I finish every day, there's big moves, but my system again is just based on charts being consistently winning charts for my entries and for my profit target. And as the day goes on, my theory is that the charts eventually will get a loss. This chart has no losses on it for the entire session. Let's see. This chart had no losses on it the entire session until right now. First entry, second entry below this bar fails. Although I could argue that this is a double bottom and I could just start the count here and that's first entry. And so the next one, potentially second entry. But that's maybe a gray area, whether I reset the count there or not. So in that case, I could ignore maybe saying that that's a loss there. But this is the time where if these charts are going to start picking up losses, this might be around the time that it happens. This is another chart. I haven't traded on it today, but I've been watching it. Every single entry on this chart has worked for my profit target. And true to even continuing right now. And let's see, I'm watching this chart. And this chart still, every single entry has worked on this chart for my profit target still to this time right now. So I've got charts that I can continue to trade. But it's almost 9:30. I'm 4-0. I feel like I've done well. I'm 11-1 for the week. And I'm a little bit behind the volume of trades that I wanted for the week, but in terms of winning percentage, exactly where I want to be, So I'm going to just lock this in for the day and call it a day. And then that way, when my daughter wakes up, I can hopefully get my wrap-up review video done quickly here, and then I can go spend some time with her. So that's going to be it for me today. Thanks for coming out and checking out my stream. 80% discount started today, or well, I guess started last night. Use this code or any other. I'm here every day by 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for my live stream, 10 a.m. East Coast. And like and subscribe if you've gotten anything out of this live stream here. And I hope you'll join me in the future. And yeah, 4-0 for today. Back-to-back 4-0 days. So that's good for me. And 11-1 for the week, 92%. And 134 wins and 32 losses for the year at 81%. And that means I'm at 166 trades for the year already, which, again, is just way ahead of anything I've done for any trading style I've done on futures for the past 3 years. So everything's pointing in the right direction. I did have a tough week last week, but I seem to be recovering well this week and hope to finish it out strong tomorrow. And I think that says it all. Check out my check out my review video. Try to get those words out. I'm going to record that next and post it in a little bit here. So be on the lookout for that. Check it out. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day.